If you've ever felt stuck, silenced, or like you're meant for more, but you just can't seem to break through, then this episode is for you. Because chances are you've been believing a lie that's holding you back, and those are the very things that keep us small. So today, my friend, it is time to rise. Welcome back to the Rise Up Buttercup podcast, where we are all about helping women across the world trust their voices, break through the noise, and lead with confidence and heart. And today, we're going to call out 3 sneaky little lies that keep us playing small. And I mean small, like turning down the volume, don't make waves, who do you think you are? That type of small. But before we dive into these lies, let's talk about something that shapes how you see the world, how we see the world, and ourselves. Because if you are new to personal development or personal growth, or maybe you've been here a little bit, you may or may not have heard of the terms fixed versus growth mindset. So today we're going to dive in before we go into the lies. What is the difference between a fixed versus growth mindset, and which are you actually choosing? Because so often the reason we stay stuck isn't because we can't grow. It's because we've unknowingly adopted a fixed mindset. Now, I say this unknowingly because 90 to 94% of our operating system lives in a subconscious space. So sometimes we might think that we're on this growth journey, but we've somehow subconsciously adopted a fixed mindset in certain areas. So it is important for us to take a step back and reflect, hey, are my thoughts and the things that I'm believing, are they fixed or are they growth? And how can I shift from being in that fixed space into a growth space so that I can push past some of these lies that I've been telling myself? So for the newer listener or someone who hasn't heard these terms before, a fixed mindset says things like, this is just the way that I am, and I'll never be good at that, or I failed before, so why should I even try again? If you listen to those terms, they come across very limiting, right? They're limiting beliefs like, this is all I'm capable of doing, or I'm never going to be good at that, or I don't think I'm going to be able to break through. And the fixed mindset helps us to stay stuck. And that's not what we want, right? But a growth mindset is absolutely the opposite, because it'll say things like, I can learn from this. Every mistake teaches me something. My past doesn't define what I'm capable of today. And in terms that are very empowering if you listen to them. So when we start to notice the beliefs running through our minds, we get to ask this question. Is this belief helping me grow, or is it keeping me small? Okay, I'm going to repeat that because I want this to really dive in for you. Is this belief helping me grow, or is it keeping me small? And by the way, this is not about toxic positivity. I'm not here to tell you, yay, kumbaya, everything's great, even on the bad days. What I'm asking you to do is reflect and take a step back, because this is all about reclaiming your power to choose the thoughts that you feed. Because my friend, yes, you absolutely can choose the thoughts that you feed. And when we believe that we can grow, we do. When we believe that we are stuck, we usually stay stuck. So what I want to encourage you to do today is really to take a step back and explore some of these lies and ask yourself, am I living in this fixed mindset? Maybe I didn't even know I was here. Or am I moving into this growth space? And how can I choose the thoughts that I want to feed? Because once again, you can. So all right, now that we've laid all of that down, let's call out some of these lies. So the first lie that I get, and this one drives me bananas, is this is just the way it is. Oh my gosh, my friends, I cannot even tell you how many people I have come across in the world that say things just like this. This is just the way that it is. And this one is really sneaky because it sounds like acceptance, right? It sounds like, okay, this is just the way that it is. I'm accepting it. But it's really just resignation in disguise. We tell ourselves we're stuck. We're stuck in a job. We're stuck in a relationship, a financial pattern, a way of being, and it feels immovable. But hear me on this. Just because something has been a certain way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Boom. Oh my gosh, mic drop. I'm saying that a lot in these podcast episodes, but it gets me excited. It's my musician side coming through. So let me repeat this again. Just because something has been a certain way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. So here is a breakthrough tip for you. If you want to start getting out of this lie that this is just the way this is, I want you to start asking better questions. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You can ask something different. What's one small shift I can make this week? Because when you start asking these action-related possibility questions, that action reveals what is possible, and possibility creates momentum. I know that was a little bit jumbled, so let me try this again. What's one small shift I can make this week? You are thinking and speaking into possibility and action, and that creates momentum. So when you feel like you're stuck, or when you feel like, oh, well, this is just the way that is, and why is this happening to me? Shift that into a growth question. What's one small shift I can make this week? What's one thing I can do different? And live into that action-related question that will lead into possibility and momentum for you. So that's lie number one. Lie number two. Oh God, this is another one I don't like at all. I'm just not capable. Whew, this one cuts really, really deep. And whether it comes from a failed attempt, possibly a rough childhood, or someone else's limiting voice that has been lodged in our heads, you know who I'm talking about. This is a heavy one because here's the deal. Capability isn't a trait. Capability is not a trait. Capability is a muscle. You build capability through the things that you do. It is not a trait that people are naturally born with. We all learn how to walk. We all learn how to speak. So we can all learn how to do something else. We can all learn how to be more capable. You build capability. And you weren't ready, quote unquote, the first time that you walked, talked, drove a car, or had a hard conversation. You learned by doing. So you're not always going to be, quote unquote, ready when you do something new. But when you try it, when you push through, when you build capability, that builds confidence. Capability builds confidence, and the only way to be capable is by actually doing something, learning how to do it over and over and over again. So my tip for you today on this is I want you to write a list of 3 hard things that you've already done. And this is one of my favorite tips. In fact, in our community, we have a Rise Up community of like-minded, powerful women that are all working on their communication, their presentation skills, their mindset. I'd love for you guys to join us in that Rise Up community. But we always write something down like our badass list. And it is a list of all the things that we've done that we're proud of. So in a similar fashion, I want you to write down a list of 3 hard things that you've already done. 3 very hard things that you have already done, and I want you to read it out loud to yourself. I want you to write it down. Don't type it, write it, use your hands so it sticks in your memory. Read it out loud to yourself and remind your brain that you can do difficult things because you already have. If you've already done difficult things before, this lie, I'm just not capable, doesn't have any ground to stand on. Right? If you've already done difficult things before, you can learn to do difficult things again. And by the way, they don't always have to be difficult. Sometimes those lies make things appear more difficult than they really are. They make them appear harder than they really are. So if you just take a second to reassess, then you're able to say, okay, wait a second, hold on, brain. I've already been here before. I've already finished and done these things. I have this lie that I'm believing that I'm not capable, but that's not really fact. And that's not really the truth, because capability comes through repetition. Capability comes from trying. It is not something I'm born with. It is something that I cultivate and I earn. And I know that I am strong enough, if I've done these other things, to keep going and pushing through to do more. So that's lie number 2. Now, let's move on to lie number 3. Oh, Lord, I'm reading these on my notes for today, and I'm telling you, every time I come across one of these, I just want to cringe, because quite frankly, I've told myself these lies before. And it wasn't until I started my personal development journey and my professional growth journey and leadership and all the other things that I did with coaching that I was able to call out some of this BS. And so this is lie number 3. If it hasn't worked before, it won't work now. Oh, girl. This one is the thief of all fresh starts. We treat our past as prophecy, but it's not. It's just data. It is not our destiny. I don't know how many times I've gone back and said, okay, well, that relationship didn't work out, so I'm sure a relationship in the future won't. It's crap. It's absolute crap that we tell ourselves. And forgive me for getting a little spicy today on this episode, but I want you to identify some of the crap you're telling yourself too. If it hasn't worked out before, it won't work out now. That job didn't work out before, so maybe my next job won't. I launched that business idea and that didn't work, so my next business idea won't. It is total BS. Your past does not get to write your future unless you hand it the pen. Oh, that's a good one. Your past doesn't get to write your future unless you hand it the pen. So here is your tip. The next time this lie creeps in, I want you to pause and ask, is this lie actually true? Or is this thought actually true? Or is this just a pattern I've been feeding? Yes. Is this just a pattern I've been feeding? Because awareness is the first step towards rewriting your story. And all of us, even myself included, we have subconscious patterns of feeding thoughts that are not real and that do not benefit us. So asking yourself this question, is this actually true? Or is this a lie and a pattern that I've been feeding? And maybe it's fear behind that. Maybe it's fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of success, fear of failure. Whatever it is, it hasn't happened yet. And that's the one thing that I really want to drive home today, is that when I am working with my clients and even myself, when we look into the future, we tend to exaggerate what the future is. And we tend to exaggerate the things that are coming when they haven't actually happened yet. So we get to be aware, and that awareness helps us to rewrite our own story. Now, I know that these beliefs feel real, and I don't want to gloss over this. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm like, oh yeah, just, pick yourself up, brush yourself off and keep going. The feelings are very real. And if you are feeling some of these things, I want you to know that's okay. You are not broken. You are human. But if no one has told you today, I want you to hear it from me. You are not too late. You are not too much, and you are not meant to play small. So if you are ready to start rewriting those beliefs, to speak up, to stand tall, and to lead with that fierce, brilliant voice of yours, I want you to practice these 3 tips. I want you to take a step back, bring awareness to some of the thought patterns. Am I living in a fixed space or a growth space? How can I start challenging some of these lies? And I also want to invite you to join the Rise Up community. It is a beautiful, supportive coaching space full of women just like you, women who are done dimming their lights and are ready to rise in confidence, ready to rise in their communication skills, their leadership skills. Inside this community, we've got live calls, we've got coaching, there's courses, there's tools, there is a community membership where you get to interact with other powerful women in the group, and there is a whole lot of real talk. So come join us. We are waiting for you, and you don't have to rise up alone. The link to the Rise Up community is going to be in this episode description. You can also go to ahigherwayofliving.com/Rise Up Community. You're going to be able to find it. If you type in Rise Up Community in Google, Lord, I hope you can find it. I haven't actually checked my Google Analytics in a while, but I hope you can find it from this podcast, searching for me, searching for this community. And remember, you are in control of what you believe, and you are in control of how small you choose to play. So let's start feeding these new belief systems. Let's start feeding these new thoughts that will grow us and push us into that confident version of ourselves that we know we can be. So until next time, keep asking bold questions, keep choosing truth over lies, and whatever you do, keep rising. And remember, my friend, you are one of a kind and absolutely worth it. And I'll see you next time.